Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tlovespeaksss, aka tlovespeaksss, and today I'm going to review the Bad Newz versus JMurda battle, which was on RBE. I think they just released it either a day or two ago or something like that. I actually took notes on this one as well, so bear with me if you see me looking down. Shout out to RBE for like grinding they way into like being a top league in the culture. They've always been giving us like the battles that we want to see, and I just think that it's so dope for them to be like, you know, at a point where they're having success and just like continuing to give us battles that we want to see. I think that's really dope. So JMurda versus Bad Newz, I think, was a really like good battle. You know, it was a really solid battle. I think both of them showed up and performed, and you know, really gave us good rounds. Even though it's debatable, I think it's debatable. I personally had Bad Newz winning 2-1. So in the first round, JMurda went first, and one thing I noticed about him is that he has great delivery. He has like a great rap voice. He like is very confident and makes you like believe him, and he believes in what he's saying, so it's like it makes you believe in what he's saying. So I think that's a great skill to have. Although it kind of seemed like when he was rapping in the first round, it kind of just seemed like the crowd wasn't that energized. He was rapping, but it just seemed kind of like they just wasn't like, I don't know if they wasn't catching the bars or whatever, but later on I kind of felt like maybe some of the stuff he was saying might have been going over their head, so maybe that's why they weren't that energized. I think he stumbled a little bit in the first round, but I think overall like it was a solid round. However, Bad Newz came out and he had great delivery. His bars kind of had like they were coherent. Well, I won't say they were coherent, like they just had like a nice structure and like nice flow to them, whereas sometimes it just seems like JMurda was just kind of talking to Bad Newz, whereas like Bad Newz was actually rapping. Some bars that Bad Newz had in that first round, I'm gonna bring my, what's it, Murda to Mook to Murda bar, that was really hard. My whole team come to work with a meal, the potluck bar, that was fire. The Chris Benoit line was fire. I gave the first round to Bad Newz. I think that his bars hit me a little bit more. So in the second round, JMurda also, I was gonna say Murda Mook. JMurda also had great energy. He had the mononucleus line, and then he had the dying line, the dying line, I was lying line. That was fire. But again, Bad Newz came out in the second, and he called out Mav, and he had the Mav off of fight flips, which is kind of crazy. He had the Momo line. I actually laughed at that part because JMurda was like, that's evil. It was funny. He had to put you in front of a clip. It's promo line. And honestly, this round could be probably debatable, but I gave it to Bad Newz. One thing I noticed throughout the battle was too, like there was like it was talking. They were both talking during each other's rounds, kind of like it wasn't to the point where it's like it was like too much, but to me, it kind of like told that line of like, all right, like, you know, just let your opponent rap. And they both was doing it. So it gave energy to the battle, but it was like 1 second away from like messing up the battle. So that would be like one of my main criticisms of it. And I have it under here as some of it taking place in the second round. That's why I mentioned it. Third round, Murda had a great flow. He was rapping. I feel like this round he was really rapping. He had the Bad Motor line, the Vivica Fox line, and the Flat Soda line. Those all hit hard. The Old Enough to Get Drawn On, Tit for Tat. That's Tit for Tat. That was great. Then Bad Newz came out and he had the if you something about cross eye, when they only cross eye when I put the burner on their nose. He had the Beijing line, and he had to take her lid off because you ain't trying to contain a line. That one hit hard. They both a solid round from both of them, but I gave this round to JMurda. I think that this was his best round. And I really think that if he had a rep like this all 3 rounds, it would have been like no debatable. It wouldn't have been debatable. I think he, you know, would have won. Which some people still might have him winning, but like I said, I gave the battle to Bad Newz. But overall, this is a very fire battle. They both have very unique styles, so it was just kind of refreshing to hear something new. Personally, I'm like big on flow, so I really liked Bad Newz and the way that he rapped. It just seemed like it flowed really well. That might not make that much sense, but it makes sense to me. And I think flow too is super important in terms of like when you listening as well. JMurda has great delivery, aggression, and bars. And like I mentioned earlier, I think his bars sometimes was going over people's head, because he had a line where it was something about a pole, and he said totem, and like it seemed like people didn't catch it. I thought it was dope. So that kind of let me know like maybe people don't necessarily always understand what he's saying, but I think he's a great rapper as well. I think together that it made for a very great battle. So yeah, let me know what you think below. If you haven't had a chance to watch the battle, I'll put the link below. Make sure you check it out and then come back and let me know what you think. If there are any more like battles that you want me to review, feel free to like let me know. I just kind of do them randomly, like it's not no specific method, but yeah, if it's something that you want me to look at, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.